Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to AdriRaven and Forbidden One. Thanks for your support. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Stygian, Reign of the Old Ones, as we once again return to this world of misery and madness. Now, when we left off last time, we were headed to the Bank of Lunatics to investigate the mysterious key that the Dismal Man left for us. Before we do, though, we've got one more bit of business to discuss with our resident keymaster. Yes, are you looking for something in particular? May I see your wares? Indeed, that is why I am here. But first, tell me, if you see something you desire, how do you intend to pay for it? Cigs? I have no interest in hoarding cigarettes, nor do I smoke them myself. I'm old enough to value breathing too much. Do you accept the old money? My advice to you, sir, is to keep your old money in the restroom, where it may be of some use. Well then, what do you have in mind? Keys. I collect them, you see, all sizes and shapes. If you happen to come across any keys in this accursed place, bring them to Schmidt's Antiques. I will gladly trade the exquisite items from my collection for keys. Or if you don't care about your health, I can also pay with cigarettes. But if you also accepted cigs in trade, it would allow you to obtain more keys. I have all the cigs I need. What if someone were to bring a special key worth more than everything you have here? Very well, I see your point. I will accept cigs in payment, but only from you. You made the right choice. Alright, so Isidore has an assortment of antiquities for trade. The only things we're really interested in, though, are the artifacts. Let's have a look. Abdul's Severed Hand. Boosts subterfuge. The Blood of St. Mercurius. Grants immunity to bleeding. Salice of Eliphaz. Increases sanity regen. Nice, but expensive. The Crystal Glasses of Zen-3. Increased occult research. Now that could be handy. Though, again, very expensive. The Eyes of Argus. Bonus reaction and a bonus when keeping watch. The Lucky Pouch of Al-Khalid. Increases trading value. Now that sounds intriguing. The Pendulum of Miss Montford. Increases psychology by 1. That's also pretty useful. Okay, I think the first thing we have to do here is save up for that Lucky Pouch. Once we've got that, we'll have a much easier time saving up for things like the Severed Hand and the Magic Pendant. We might also go for the Magic Glasses, but that's a pretty big maybe. Anyway, we can't actually afford anything just yet, so let's go make a withdrawal. Oh, nice. Looks like we've already got some new junk lying around. Again, nothing we can actually use, but it does make good trade fodder. After the locals salvaged whatever they could find of use, cultists turned this humble place of worship into an altar to their own depravity. Yeah, that sounds about right. I wonder what it is that decides when these containers restock. It could be a series of invisible timers, like our hunger and exhaustion meters. Or maybe it's tied to the passage of story events. We did just meet with Isidore. This is no man of Arkham, or even of Earth. There is nothing human under those rags. Your kind brought this upon us. Cursed creature. Demon. The angry mob before you is about to lynch the miserable being you encountered a short while ago. It seems this outsider has been chosen as the scapegoat for everything these people suffered in the wake of the Black Day. Well, that's no good. Unleash the power I sense in you, friend. The creature turns to you with a bewildered look in its amber eyes. It seems to recognize you. Those peasants will tremble at the sight of true sorcery. The outsider slowly starts to whisper something in a long forbidden tongue. Yes, let them witness the true power of the arcane. Just, don't kill anyone. Black magic! He'll turn us to stone! Run! Well, that actually worked out quite nicely. The creature approaches you cautiously. It looks thoroughly confused. After a short silence, it speaks a single word. Why? Why? Why did you intervene on my behalf? You hold mysteries that I cannot simply let go. Mysteries? I am a mystery to myself, though I am sure of one thing, stranger, that I am accursed. The outsider moves to leave the scene where he was almost lynched. Wait. I am incapable of helping my own self, stranger, much less others. Such is the lot the gods have given me. Leave me be, that I may continue my search for that accursed man. Tell me about this man. The man in black with no face. The man with the cane of bones. The ghostly tapping of his stick still rings in my ears. You mean the Dismal Man? The Dismal Man. How fitting. Do you know him? I'm also looking for him. Then you're as doomed as I am, stranger. In my bones, I know that no good would ever come from finding him. Yet I have no choice but to find him. His countenance was the last thing I saw before finding myself in this purgatory. Where did you last see the Dismal Man? Somewhere far away. So far, so distant now. Damn the day I left my castle. Damn me for leaving my dreary chambers and the twilit groves and the companionship of my books. Damn me. Castle? The past is best left alone. It often brings pain and seldom joy. And when it does, the longing of that joy twists it once more to pain. How did you come to this purgatory? I betrayed everything. The timeless peace that the lone centuries granted me. My own existence. The outsider slowly regains control of its temper. I do not know how I came here, but I know why. This is my punishment. Perhaps we could look for this man together. The creature is silent for a moment. Then you hear the rugged voice from beneath the rags once more. It is no coincidence that you know the man with the cane of bones. Perhaps I shall walk with you for a time. May I ask your name? I don't remember. I am unsure if I ever had one. But I know one thing. Wherever the fates toss me, I remain the outsider. Well, whoever you are, it's a pleasure. The creature gazes at you without a word. Let's go. And that gives us our first full-fledged companion. In this case, the outsider, an Antediluvian with a cursed bloodline. It looks like he's set up to be a pretty basic occultist, which can be useful, but it's also a bit redundant, so we might end up having him focus on medicine and melee instead. Looks like he's got a full set of custom gear, too. What's this thing? Shattered hand mirror. Given the repulsive appearance of its owner, it's not difficult to postulate, though banteringly, as to what caused the crack on this aesthetically valuable object. +1 spellcraft, +3% critical failure chance. Interesting. Okay, so all this gear is locked. Makes sense. Though we do have a few open slots here, if we happen to find any additional artifacts. Alright, let's check for loot and keep heading for the bank. Okay, moving on. Oh. Psst. I have an offer for you. A pasty, malnourished man leaps up from within the shadows. His swollen, wary eyes are riveted on you. The scruffiness of his otherwise fine apparel corresponds with his restless antics. His rolling, vigilant eyes quickly scan the premises, and when he finally feels secure, he addresses you in a timid but needy fashion. I'm sorry if I startled you, sir. I'm Cornelius Moretti. I, have a proposal from which we can both benefit. Pardon my abruptness, but it will only take a minute of your time. Tell me about it. Plainly in distress, he is gazing askance at the brawlers standing near the bar. I had seen you go up to the Old Eel attic before I got ejected by that ignoble swab. You might be just the man who can help me. Ignoble swab? The whole town is teeming with them. I wonder which one. The biggest, vilest, slimiest of them all. Marino, that's who. To think that I never took my father seriously when he kept saying, "No honest man has ever been born to the Rossi Familia." Very well. Go on. He grinds his teeth in chagrin before continuing. It was just another miserable day at the joint when I, partly encouraged by the devil's juice no doubt, finally spoke what had been on my mind for a long time. Suddenly, his anger takes precedence over his nervousness. I called him out, that tyrannical devil seed called Waxface. I denounced him as the false shepherd he really is. Nobody said a thing, of course. Cowards. There was, is, and will ever be only one shepherd of men. For saying that, they expelled me, humiliated me, and worst of all, they marked me. Twitchingly, he lowers his voice. That's my death sentence, you understand? Marked? Hearing you speak the word, a surge of misgiving darkens his visage. It's not the time nor place, and besides, you're better off not knowing what it is. Look, you seem really agitated. Try talking about what's bothering you. It may ease your mind. He ponders on your advice for a moment, and eventually concedes the point. First they ban you from mob premises, and then the whole town starts to shun you, lest they get marked too. Getting the jitters again, he peers about tremulously. Eventually they'll get to you and turn you over to the cult, wherever you are. There's no hiding from it. Oh Jesus, please help me. All right, what do you want from me? Well, sir, all I'm asking is that you retrieve my heirloom pocket watch from the Old Eel attic. It's a valuable piece from my late father. I stashed it there, having an inkling that I might need it in the dark days ahead. It's hidden under a floorboard next to the mattress. I need it more than ever, for I'm left with nothing else. Once I barter it off, we'll split the cigs halfway. Please, please, will you do this for me, sir? Very well, count me in. A shimmer of mirth appears in his eyes. I can't put into words how much I appreciate this. I'll take a look around when I get a chance to rest in the attic. Oh, thank you. He casts one final fretful glance at his surroundings. Now, I must go, before they come for me. I'll be near the desecrated church in French Hill. It'll be safe there. It's abandoned now. Please hurry. My life depends on it. He scurries away. All right, well, we were headed to the bank, but we're right here. Might as well see if we can grab the poor guy's watch. Oh, hey, we've got some new faces in the Old Eel. Alright, well, I don't want to get too bogged down here, so we'll talk to Marino, and then we'll talk to one of them. We'll save the other one for later. What is it, Cornudo? What do you know about this key, Marino? My knowledge on that thing will greatly depend on whether you're planning to buy a drink or not. I tend to forget things a lot these days. Well, we already know it goes to the bank, so I don't think it's worth paying him just to find that out again. Sorry, Marino. I want to rest in the attic. Ah, I see you enjoyed your time in our special suite, the Royal Attic. But it is occupied now. I'll take your cigs later, Cornudo. Well, shoot. Why do you call me Cornudo, Marino? Forget about it. You remind me of a guy. He was a Cornudo, that's it. But what is a Cornudo? Cornudo is... He raises two curled fingers to his forehead. Someone who has horns, you know? If a wife is unfaithful to the husband, that makes the husband a Cornudo, alright? What does this have to do with me, Marino? When I was the bartender of Isola, a small Italian bar in Chicago, a man used to come in there every evening, every single day. He didn't drink. He didn't seem to have any fun. He just kept looking at the patron silently, looking for someone. Then, after almost a year, I finally learned his story. He was searching for the man who fucked his wife. He came to that bar every day, staring silently. You're like him. You're waiting for someone too. You don't pursue whatever fucked up life you can have in this shitty town. Instead, you act like that cornudo. Forgive me if I put it bluntly, but who fucked you over, my friend? I'm waiting for someone, true, but it's not as simple as that. Like I care. Now, name your poison. See ya, Marino. Later, cornudo. I hope you find whoever fucked your wife. Oh, boy. Alright, well, let's have a chat with this curious fellow. You see a withered old man sitting bent over one of the tables. He appears to be in the midst of a heated argument with his bag. The fiery light in his yellowish eyes contrasts sharply with his weary physique. I get it. Cut it out, I said. Dawkins, I tell you one last time, if I ever hear your bloody voice again, I'll break your damn piss pot of a bottle. Do you hear me? All of you. The old man suddenly turns to you, and his fiery gaze meets yours. You're early, cabin boy. Good. Sit down and drink some ale with me. Cabin boy, I think you've mistaken me for someone else. Have I? Or perhaps we're all in a ship. In a damned ship, sailing through the black, forsaken waters, eh? And that may make you a cabin boy, all right. He turns to his bag. What did you say to me, you foul-mouthed whore spawn? The old man turns to you again. Yes, the ship. Can its name be Arkham? He smiles a toothless smile. Perhaps there is wisdom in your words. He is not with you again. Long Tom, just when I thought you'd come to your bloody senses. No, I'll be sitting here drinking my ale, or whatever this horse piss is. He registers your presence again. What did you say, cabin boy? Who are you talking to? What's in the bag? You mean in my bag here? No one of importance to ye, just the low-life scum of the sea. Noden's lot, like me. He hears something from the bag, which upsets him, as far as you can tell. How dare you, you horn-swaggling bastard! Nodens? And upon dolphins' backs on a vast crenolite shell, wherein rode the grey Nodens, lord of the great abyss. You'll learn more about him in your time on deck, cabin boy. You may even serve the needs of the god of the great deep, like I do. Nodens is not like those cold, tyrannical, unfeeling gods that rule this realm now. He finds purpose in mortals, although rarely. Shut your trap, Peters! Yeah, I'd better go. Goodbye. A sudden vigilance burns in the old man's eyes. Tell me then, cabin boy, before you leave, why do you follow the man who sails the whirlpools of reality? You mean the Dismal Man? Dismal? Yes, that's bloody fittin'. Now, answer me question, cabin boy. His voice has taken on a cold and intimidating tone. I believe he'll have the answers to this mystery. Perhaps he does. But ask yourself if those answers will actually make you feel better or worse than before. He suddenly bends down to his bag. What? Peter's found another one. Good boy. All right, you'll have what you want. When? Whenever I decide to leave this rat hole of a tavern, of course. No one here is going anywhere. Very intriguing. Alright, so we can't grab that poor guy's watch until later, so let's head to the bank. Sounds like the lurker below is unhappy. Fucking loony. His demented venture ended prematurely and pitifully. I suppose that's just a warning of things to come. Help yourself. Get in there and die. You see a burly mob member watching the entrance of the ruined bank. Spit it out. Who was that? A raving lunatic. One of those fucking wackos who couldn't face the new order of things and completely lost it. They seem happier than most, though. And I'm happier when I see one with a sucking hole in his chest. I'd like to get inside. Help yourself, and if you get killed, try not to make a mess. Good advice. We will try to take it to heart. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Lockpicks. Not that we can actually use them yet. The hood of this armored vehicle was stove in when the driver smashed through the wall. By the looks of it, he suffered a painful death in the process. Well, if we actually had subterfuge, we could probably crack that open. We'll just have to move on for now. And we are now exhausted. We'll push on a little farther. Ah, bank manager's note. That's the sort of thing we're looking for. Notes written by the shaky hands of the old bank manager, detailing his interactions with a mysterious stranger. I've never been a man who puts any stock in superstition, yet my experience today has shaken my once strict convictions. I had an unannounced visitor. He was a tall man, dressed in a finely cut suit and topcoat, all of an impenetrable black. And his face, well, peculiar as this may sound, I do not remember a damned thing about it. Not his age, the look in his eyes, or the color of his hair. When I try to recall those details, my mind goes completely blank. Yeah, that sounds like the Dismal Man. Also, we just gained a level. Alright, let's have a look at our options here. Now, obviously we need to boost Occult. We'll have to boost that at almost every level if we want to max it out. Not sure what to do with our other point, though. As for our perk, Haggler catches my eye immediately. We do have an assortment of other decent perks to choose from, but I think this one will actually help us get the things we need to set up for the rest of the game. I should probably boost speech or psychology, but we are right next to that locked truck. Yeah, we'll put a point into subterfuge, though that does mean we'll basically have to ignore firearms. Then we've got the Outsider, and I'm tempted to start stacking his medicine score, but I don't think he can actually use it the same way the player does. We'll just play it safe and stack melee and occult instead. As for his perk, we've got Wisdom of the Centuries, which boosts his spell power at the cost of his health, or Wrath of Isolation, which boosts his melee abilities at the cost of his sanity. I guess we'll go with Wrath. Spells are a bit too high maintenance anyway. Alright, moving on. First things first, let's crack open that armored car. Nice. Looks like that got us a better gun. Well, higher damage, but lower handling. I think we'll actually stick with the gun we're currently using. We're completely untrained, so that extra handling bonus could come in handy. This is probably a bad idea, but let's press on. The shiny bits of crystal from this ruined chandelier glitter like stars against the filthy floor. Hello there. A strangely presentable man in a sharp suit waits eagerly at one of the destroyed cash counters. The moment he sees you, he begins to speak rapidly and enthusiastically. Hello, sir. How may I assist you? As you can see, this has been a very busy day. It looks like the boom has finally come to Arkham. It's nice to see our little town thriving, don't you think? I wouldn't say thriving. Oh, you don't agree? But we are all free to express our opinions, right? That's what makes this country so... His voice cuts off abruptly, and he freezes in place. He doesn't even blink. He looks almost like a living statue. Excuse me, sir? Some men are endowed by their creator with certain alienable rights. Let me help you with your transaction, sir. May I see your credentials, please? Does this suffice? He instantly grabs the object from your hands. Let me see. It says you're a despoiler of secret sins. Here are your documents, sir. I hope they will aid you in the game of misery, piss, and shit. Well, that happened. Guess we're fighting now. A group of raving lunatics suddenly jumps from behind the booths. You are ambushed. Ooh, now, these guys aren't very dangerous, but they can whittle away at our sanity, so we'll need to finish this quick. Oh, I guess they want to finish this quick too. Well, honestly, I almost feel bad killing these guys, but better to do it now than after they've hurt us. Oh, I see. They've increased the cost of the Outsider's melee attack. It used to only cost 2 AP. And we are victorious, which is both good and bad. Obviously, we get some loot and experience for overcoming our foes, but we also gain angst from the experience. As we build up angst, we'll start being saddled with various negative mental conditions. You can never completely avoid gaining angst throughout the game, but you can control how quickly you gain it. Looks like the bank manager also gave us something. Let's see here. There it is. Young Girl's Diary. Irrelevant to you, this diary of an anonymous young girl mostly contains her personal reflections about adolescent problems and relationships. It's interesting to note that every character gets something different from the bank manager. It only seems to be tied into their original backstory. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if that's really relevant in the finished game. More lunatics. We'll try to go around them. Well, so much for that. Though we probably could have snuck past them if we actually invested in the stealth skill. Lots of cover this time. We'll try to make this quick. Wow. Now, if we really wanted to cut things short, we could literally just run past these guys. That's what the escape grids here are for. But in this case, I'd rather get the loot. We can certainly survive a little angst. Nice, Eduardo. Good to know I'm getting my money's worth. Not bad. We are getting perilously close to our first rank of angst, but that was bound to happen sooner or later. Nothing sadder than an empty loot container. The safe is locked. Ah, we're out of lockpicks. Okay, we'll pick up some more when we get the chance. And what have we here? But stranger still, I swear by our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ that he knew about Frederick. He knew of my only son, about his incurable disease, and not just the fact of it, but every symptom, every maddening detail. He claimed to have certain powers, that he could cure my boy. All he asked in return is that I install on his behalf a safe marked with the number 0. It would be our little secret. It's certainly not hard to understand why the bank manager ultimately ended up going insane. Assuming that was indeed the bank manager we met out front. And more lunatics. Alright, well, We're past the 40-minute mark at this point, and my throat is still a little worn down from episode 1, so I think this makes for a pretty good stopping point. We'll hit the pause button for now, but we'll pick up here next time as we finish exploring the Bank of Lunatics, and then go get some much-needed rest. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Stygian, Reign of the Old Ones, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official Facebook page, the official Twitter feed, or the original crowdfunding campaign over on Kickstarter. Links are in the description.